Prolific B, and this show is Young and Prolific. You know, this show is about giving the black youth the opportunity to have a voice in the community. This evening, I've got two wonderful youths here. And the reason why I had to literally drag them here is every time we talk about education and we talk about whether the education system supports our youth, with them, they went the other route, which was apprenticeship. Yeah. So this evening, I'm going to give them opportunity to sort of like explain what that was about, what they do, and they're going to introduce themselves. So who wants to go first?
Ladies first.
Yeah.
Hi, my name is Rajika Baker, and I took an apprentice route, and currently I'm a full-time employment, working two jobs. One as a finance and contracts administrator in Tower Bridge, and the second one is a support worker with young people.
How old are you?
I'm 24.
Okay.
My name's Courtney. I also did an apprenticeship. However, I did two. I did one in marketing, and I'm doing the one I did now, which is working for BT as an apprentice, installing telephone lines into premises, homes, offices, and all sorts of kind. And we're here to talk about the education system and how it could help. Different opinions on how you can look at it in different ways.
Okay, how old are you?
I'm 24.
Oh, okay.
I look much older though.
Because you've grown yourself a beard, huh? All right, Courtney. Okay, one of the things that actually intrigued me was why you chose that route. Because I know you went to secondary school and you decided to choose that route. So are you going to go first or are you going to...
I'll go first this time.
All right.
Yeah, so the reason why I sort of chose an apprenticeship is literally because one of the main reasons is the debt. You leave school, you don't really know what you want to do. Most people say, yeah, I want to do this, which is, that's fine. However, I was in a sort of situation where I didn't really know. So I didn't want to go uni, sort of figure out on the job of what I want to do, pick a course that I didn't really believe in at the time, do it for 1, 2, 3, 4 years, probably drop out the second year because I wouldn't really believe in myself that this is what I want to do.
Okay.
However, while doing that, I would be wasting money because from the start, it's not something I want to do. Okay. So all that money and time that you're wasting didn't really seem the great option to do for myself. So I decided to do an apprenticeship because I didn't see any negatives to it. Okay. I'm gaining experience on the job. I'm doing something where even if I don't like it, I won't be penalized like financially. Okay. Because I'm earning money while doing something that I want to do.
Okay.
Similarly, I chose the apprenticeship route, but for me it was slightly different because I migrated from Jamaica in 2008, and by time it was time to go to university, I did the application, I was accepted, I wasn't granted student loan.
Okay.
So the other option was to go into full-time employment, which when I was searching for that, it was very hard.
Yes.
It's like they wanted all this experience.
How old were you then?
I was just leaving school, so I was 16.
Oh, okay.
I was 16.
Okay. Is that speak up? Yeah.
Oh, me. Okay. I was 16, 17, I believe at the time.
Yes. So Courtney, when she says that, how does that make you feel? Because in the sense that with her, she's saying that because she didn't get the student's loan, and do you think that the schools push that part?
No.
Nah, not at all.
Definitely
not. At all. I feel like what we said off camera, similarly to what you said, like if there was to push everyone to go to apprenticeship, the government wouldn't see any sort of financial benefit from that. So it's like, okay, everyone goes to an apprenticeship, but
in 4 years, the government is not getting any money from you.
Work. So I feel like they have to put it out a little bit, but really push uni the most, as it helps the government much more financially.
And even with that, there was a lack of resources for me personally. Like there wasn't much resources in school that help young people getting into apprenticeship. with myself and Courtney, we had to go through alternative organisation that was specifically for apprenticeship in order to gain any.
Really?
Yeah, it was really hard. Like, we left school, and by time summer hit.
How old were you when you left school? About 18?
Yeah, I was like 18.
So, yeah, sixth form, 18.
18.
Yeah.
So I did sixth form. I had the qualification, but in terms of getting into an apprenticeship, I didn't know where to go. So it was a thing where we were searching online. I actually found an organisation called Future London, and they helped me with the resources how to get into apprenticeship, allowing me to understand it more. And there was like workshops throughout the summer to just like kind of give us the basic skill on how to go into office environment, because it's very different from school.
But go on, Courtney.
Yeah, I just would like to add something as well. The same way with uni, you get a sort of a qualification.
Yes.
You do actually get a qualification with
apprenticeship
as
yeah,
well.
you definitely
So
do.
it's not just thinking that you just have to work. Then you do a little experience, then you finish.
Yeah.
You actually have to do courses as well as work.
Yes.
And then once you finish your course, then you get a qualification. You can either sort of decide to further your education, or if you just say, I don't want to do the education part anymore, then you can go into full-time employment. So literally you have more control over your career, as opposed to going to uni. You have to do a certain amount of years to get the qualification. Then you have to find a job. Whereas if you've been doing an apprenticeship for a year, 2 years with this company, they know you inside out. You come into the office, you see the people, you leave the office, you return the next day. So you have more of a routine
interaction with them.
People.
Yeah.
So the likely of them taking you on is higher. Very, very high.
And even so, with apprenticeship, it allows you access to move around the company. So once you get into the company, because for example, I started off, I wanted to do marketing myself. So I started off as a compliance officer. Because I work for an agency that supplies to hospitals. They supply nurses and midwives.
Yes.
So I started off doing the compliance section, so recruiting. And I found out, actually, this isn't really for
what
me.
You want.
Whilst I was working there, and I just literally had an interview within the company. I already knew the management and said, can I transfer to finance? They said, you can, but you have to complete your course in compliance. And as soon as that was finished, I just did my full employment within finance, and I found out I prefer finance. That's what I like. And that gave me the opportunity, didn't lose out on money, didn't have like a degree or loss.
And you didn't feel that you were just studying to get a certificate. It was like you knew that once I finished, I was going to get another job. But you know, when you say that, it actually now saddens me that you guys said something that you didn't know where to find apprenticeship places to get apprenticeship. Was it courses or how to get into the apprenticeship stuff? Do you know that the government always says, we're trying to get youth to go to work, but now what you guys have explained is a way of youth actually finding work. So how come they don't go down that route?
Surprises me, because even with apprenticeship, you can get a job, you can find a job, but you actually need the apprenticeship training people to be working with that particular company in order to get the qualification. As I said, Future London, they did the training side. So if I had went to like any other company, if my company wasn't working with that training organisation, it wouldn't be an apprenticeship, it would be just a job.
But why doesn't schools look into that aspect?
It's a curriculum, like obviously they have rankings in school, how many students qualified and got into university. That shows them, okay, we're a good school, this is what we have accomplished. 85% of our students went on to uni. They don't talk about the rest of the percentage.
Which I feel that is very, very sad, because when most students now finish school or they finish university, they've got no job.
And
And then they end up, and you see them either in Burger King, because somebody would finish university and be working in KFC. And with all that degree, because we even were talking about the experience that when you come out of apprenticeship, when you're an apprentice and you go into the apprenticeship course, they actually help you more comparatively. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, that's brilliant point. When you leave uni, it's like they just say go.
Yes.
Like you figure out what you have to do, but then what you also need to remember, there's not only telling you go, they're telling thousands of people go. So everyone's leaving uni at the same time, struggling like, okay, where do I go? The people that you was in your uni class, they're thinking the same thing. There's no actual sort of direction of where to go next. Whereas I would say apprenticeship, okay, it's not just go, like we'll take you on again.
Yes.
Then look after you even more and progress within the
Even
career.
with that, you're assigned a person that you do your course with, but they actually come into the workplace. They actually check in on you. So obviously, it's not just getting your first job. They come, they go through the policies and the procedures, how you feel comfortable in a workplace. If there's anything you need to disclose with them that's happening within an office, because you know things can happen within an office, you don't really know what rights you have in a workplace sometimes. So it's for them to sit down with you and be like, well, you know, you're legally able to do this, you can't do this. It's on-site support as which is external to the company, because obviously you can have a HR, but they have the interest of the company. With an apprentice, they don't have the interest of the company. They need to protect the kid. And if you're not happy within that employment, they can remove you and find another job to place you in.
Do you know that these are some of this? It's quite fascinating though. No, it truly is. Because we have been brought up to believe that getting your degree, your master's, whatever it is, empowers you. But it seems more that you get empowered being an apprentice. Because if you notice, apprenticeship has been sold as the cheaper form of, but the way you guys talk about it, it seems that seems it's kind of like the other way around. Because because down the line you will still get employment, you still get an employer that will pay for you to go to uni.
Yeah, definitely. There is myself as an example. I was able to do a finance qualification. So outside of finish my apprenticeship, I went on to do a accounting course, which is AAT. And that was fully funded by my company, and they understood because it brought value to their company. So they then allowed me time to even go study as a full employer. Yeah, so that was like amazing. That if you want to, with my company, I can't speak for every company, but I'm sure that's how, because they know that you as a young person coming in the company, they want to train you to be the best employee, so then obviously you can provide the best service for their customer. So with that, I was able to, if I wanted to do a degree right now, it's an open discussion with the company because I've been there for so long.
And they'll still pay for it.
Yes.
And another thing as well, they allow you to make mistakes. Because you're an apprentice, you're able to make mistakes with the company. For example, in my situation, I was doing a marketing apprenticeship, and it got to a point where I was doing little tasks, but then it got to big tasks like controlling the whole social media at a point. However, here and there I'll make slight mistakes, like maybe spelling mistakes or just little mistakes like that. Over time they'll coach you in how to, okay, don't do this, do this, and so on and so forth. Whereas if you
they build your confidence.
So, however, if you leave uni and do the same exact thing, there's more pressure on you because they're thinking you have a uni degree, so you should know absolutely everything.
Well, so you're not allowed to make mistakes.
No mistakes. Or, Or you can
No, but you know what? I think this is good because there's so many things, there's so many aspects that I've been trying to figure out how the education system or parents can use it to support their children. And then the apprenticeship, I think, is one of the ways that actually can. Now, I'm going to change this, okay? Because I know you two are fiancé.
Okay.
Okay, the reason why with me, I'm kind of flipping the script is now you guys, you guys are going to get married, yeah? Okay. What, you know, in the modern society and with your youth, there's less people that commitment is like a big thing. Why did you guys sort of like now, sort of like, is it because of financial, or is it because of love, or is it because...
I think it's genuine. Like when you meet the
right person,
it can be, 16, 22, 30. You just know that there's a genuine connection there. So when I met Regina, well, we went to school, but when I sort of got to know her a bit better than I actually did, it's like she knew me. Like the support is, I can't describe like any other thing. Like no, I wouldn't trade her for the world, basically. So
that's brilliant.
We've been together. We've been together. It's gonna be 8 years.
Oh wow! Wow!
So it's not nothing to do with financial. It's just when you know the one, and
even with, I feel like nowadays generation, like you see so much on social media, and everyone just feels like they have so much options. They always think, there's so much fish in the sea. So I feel like with commitment, even with some of my friends that I speak to, they are not willing to commit because the least little thing they see, they feel like, well, there's better out there. I see people on social media, and then they idolize certain things on social media. They see certain couples, they see them buying,
which is all fake.
I don't know, I can't speak, but people only show glitz and
No, but what I'm saying is on social media is fake, because at the end of the day, you find out that they were so fantastic, and the next day they're getting a divorce. So most of the time, so is it? But when one of the things that I think I personally have a problem with, is a couple. I think last week I was speaking to a friend, and then she said something, and I think that was one of the most saddest things that I actually heard. She said to me that people stay in marriages because even if it doesn't work, you stay in there because of your children, and culture makes it so. And I just felt, and she says that is what tradition, because you were talking about the African tradition, and I think I felt so sad that from a child, whereby I looked at my parents' relationships, and in a way I felt my mom should have left my dad. Do you understand? I feel that the impact on me, and she was going, no, you can't bring the kids into it. Now, I don't know about your backgrounds, but how do you feel that parents being in a relationship just because they're saying because of the kids actually is healthy?
No,
I don't think
that's the worst thing, because you know how much toxicity you see within that household, and then it's like people don't understand how they are allowing their kids to accept certain things without doing it directly. So it's like what you wouldn't stand for yourself, or you wouldn't want your children going through what you're doing in your marriage, and now you're just mirroring that, and they end up reflecting your relationship. Personally, my parents are married. They were brought up together, but there's love there, and I know what a healthy, loving relationship will look. But I also have friends that are not in great relationship, and it's like, if you have kids, your kids are looking at you like, Mom, Dad, why did you do this? Why did you do that? And you're thinking, oh, they're kids, they're gonna grow out of it.
They don't notice.
I feel like people like to push that aside, thinking, oh, it's fine, they'll grow out of it. But it can be so dramatic and so traumatic, it can actually create trauma, where how they view relationships, what they think is acceptable and what's not acceptable. So yeah, that's how I
Courtney?
feel.
So unlike Rajika, I only grew up with my mum. I know my mum. I wouldn't trade that for the world. If I saw my mum and my dad together growing up, yes, it would have been nice. But you can't be selfish in those situations just because I'm here, basically. Like, you come first. If obviously sometimes you have to put your kids first, of course, well, most of the time, but that's not putting your kids first if you're just forcing a relationship. So me growing up in a single parent, I feel like my mum's done the best job that she possibly could, and my dad's done a great job as well. But I would never like to see two people in a relationship just because the child. You have to know what's best for you and the child, not just you, the dad, and the child. If that makes sense.
And like, in order to be, I feel like, to be a great parent, you have to be good to yourself. Precisely. You have to show yourself love and respect. So I feel like, how do you love and respect yourself if you allow someone to come in and disrespect you and disregard you, and then your child see that, and then, for example, calling someone out their name. Your partner's calling you out of your name in front of your child. Your child's now in a relationship, and then they might not see that as a red flag that they're getting called out their name. But that's a big issue within any relationship. I don't think you should disrespect anyone you're in a relationship, but that's what they know. And then they say hurt people. You've never gotten over that hurt, so now you're in a relationship calling someone out their name, and you think that's fine because I've seen it. It wasn't a big deal when I saw it.
Is it? And when you said that, it's really true, because I remember I was talking. There was a friend of mine that they were getting separated, and I remember the man said something to the effect that, oh well, my dad used to do this to my mom, so I don't know why. My wife feels that it's my soon-to-be ex-wife feels that it's a big deal because my dad he used to say things, he used to be very derogatory to my mom, and yet she still stayed with my dad. So I don't see why she has a problem. You see, and the thing is, one of the things that I think has really, I think that statement, I'm telling you, has really had an impact on me, because I feel that now it becomes generational. Because if somebody says, oh, my grandmother stayed in a marriage because she was unhappy, so now her mother too stayed in it because she is unhappy, and then now the child is going to stay in it, then that means you're not actually giving your child any substance, as you say, in a relationship. Because I believe that any relationship, you have to be able to fight for it, and if you know you are miserable, you can't say that, oh, because of the kids, because I feel that then the kids are not even getting the best of the relationship.
No, and then it's like, okay, so what happens after the kids?
No, then
the kids. No, but how long are you gonna say for the kids? Because I'm sorry, for the kids when they're young, okay. But at a certain age, kids start developing themselves. They start making up their own minds.
Yes,
so
precisely.
At what point is it no longer for the kids? Or just something you're just now accepting? It's just something you've become accustomed to?
Or do you feel that sometimes people feel that they don't want to be alone, so they choose that path as well?
Nah, I don't feel like that's crazy, because when you're alone, you find yourself more, because you learn how to understand yourself. Before anyone gets to a relationship, I say they try to understand as much as they possibly can. I don't feel like you complete yourself until you're with someone else, because then you know how to fully manage yourself, manage your emotions, control anything. So I would say before anyone tries to get into a relationship, that's bad advice, but that's a bit of bad advice, but like, you have to kind of understand how to love yourself before you can love anyone else.
And then be able to compromise.
And then the thing as well is, people don't know how to be by themselves, because you can say, oh, you need to be by yourself, but what does that actually look like? Is that self-reflection? Because you can be by yourself in a house and watching TV, getting distracted on social media, on the phone to your friend every day, literally not tuning into yourself. So you think, no, you might assume that being by yourself, it means something. It might not necessarily mean you could literally just be floating, not dealing with any trauma, not dealing with anything, and like even counselling and stuff like that. Not a lot of young people or even young black people get counselling, but I was speaking to my cousin. He does like this podcast with his wife. They're based in Canada, and we were just talking about how everyone needs to learn themselves.
Yes.
In the sense that every reaction you make, every response you make, there is a reason behind
that, which is true.
And also as well, relationships are amazing. Like if I could put everyone in a relationship, I would do that.
That's bad advice.
That's bad advice.
And another reason why is because like sometimes when you're alone, you have your down periods. Like you don't really have goals or don't really have the support that you need. So you can be having a bad day at work, bad day in general, and then just to know that you come home to a woman that's just there supporting you, it just lifts your spirits up, and then you tack the world together.
Okay, so then you're talking about a wise, intelligent girl, not the girl that Beyonce type that she's got her £300 with and she wants to go out there to go and socialize.
It's very good to pick. And then this is what I say to people as well. When you're thinking of the physical aspect of people, that's not what's going to raise your kids. A pretty face is not going to raise your kids. A girl can be so beautiful, but she don't have any morals, any values.
Which I agree.
This is what this person you're picking based on physical appearance is going to grow your daughter. So then you're going to look at her and think, this is not how I want my daughter to behave, but you picked a pretty face because
she has no home training, basically.
There's nothing more than a pretty face. And that's really sad.
No, it is because it's like I look at, because you said something which you touched on was commitment. That because everybody feels, oh, there's this in the sea or there's options, they end up not having options, and then down the line, then they end up going to start taking people's relationships because they feel that they ended up losing out.
What do you mean by taking people's relationships?
Because these girls end up, all of a sudden, they end up probably going to club. Because when you go to Ghana and all those stuff, they're doing all this, I don't know, black magic or whatever it is, to try and get all these men because they feel they didn't get the man that they wanted because they're going after money. They're going after, because you get young girls that they're going after the big cars instead of them actually working.
That's what I've said as well. Like, obviously, Courtney and I met from young. Like, we didn't have money. we didn't have money. You mentioned just going after school, going to the chicken shop, but it's having goals. It's having ambition. Because now it's easy to see someone and be like, oh, that person don't have money. But if that person is ambitious, they can be a billionaire in the next 5-6 years. You don't know that. But because you're disregarding someone or judging someone by appearance, like, oh, he's not in that name brand, he's not in this, so I can't be with that guy because but this guy might have a good bank account where this other guy spent all his money on designer.
Which is
and then when you think of the property ladder, this guy that is just doing and
buying all those brand names
and going in debt and stuff like that, messing up his credit. Now this designers, is it gonna buy your house?
No, it's not.
Is it gonna buy your house? Is it gonna put you in a position where you want to be
in the future, whereby you're going to have,
because the property ladder is hard to get on. The economy the economy is so tight, so everyone's like looking at the now. They're calling it, what did they call it, the renting generation rent.
Okay. Also, they call your generation rent.
Yeah, because in London, to rent, like, I was watching a YouTube video the other day. And this guy, he lives in Kensington and Chelsea Borough. But he pays 1,200 a month for
a
1,000
studio.
for a studio flat. So in his bedroom, he has his kitchen.
Oh, right.
In his bedroom, he has his kitchen. He has his
bathroom next door.
Everything. It's smaller than this room.
It's basically the spots.
Crazy.
And so, do you think that person will even end up wanting to get married, or?
I wouldn't know about that, but I wouldn't really know about that. But he sort of needs to understand that
There's some sort of evaluation that needs some inner thinking, because obviously people need to do whatever make them happy at the end of the day. You're living your life for you.
Yes.
But there's some consideration of the future,
which is
building yourself.
Precisely.
Like, you can't just live for today.
Yes.
Even now, trying to plan the wedding.
Yeah.
I want this, I want that. But even my mum was like, Rajika, so after the wedding, then what?
Exactly.
What's the next step?
Yes.
What do you do after that?
Yes.
You spend your money on the wedding. Yeah. Obviously, I'm not a stupid spender.
Yeah.
But you're thinking of all these great things that you want. But there is a future, there is a tomorrow, there's a rainy day.
Which is true.
Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you can't just think of now with anything.
Which
You
is
gotta
true.
like plan for the future and line yourself up in a position where in the future you can look back and say, okay, I sacrificed this, but this is where I am now.
Which is true. Which is true. Okay, Father's Day was yesterday. What do you think makes a great dad? I'm not saying a perfect dad.
Yeah. Well, I'm not a father, but from experience with my dad.
No, you've got friends, and you know they talk about their fathers and all those stuff, and you've got a dad too. Yes.
What I would say, be there at every opportunity, because growing up for me, my dad would give me money, like £20 here, £20 there. And I saw this on a video where a guy said, "You can give me so much money, but you can't give me memories."
Which is true.
So you'll give all that. I can give all that money back, but where was you when I was 5 years old, kicking my first football? Where was you when I was 10 years old, going on a school trip? So I feel like you just gotta be there and like just try to find. Even if you live in Ghana, Jamaica, America, you can be there over the phone. Like, just make sure you have that connection with the child any way you possibly can. That's what I would say, and just try to support with whatever they do. They might say they want to be an astronaut. You say you can be whatever you want. Give them words of encouragement, just so they know, if my mum don't believe in me, at least I have my dad that believes in me.
Yes.
And knows all the type of stuff that, you know. And also, another thing as well, I'll say, there's certain activities that mums don't do that dads will do. So for example, when I'm younger, I'm really into football, but my mum never took me to a football match.
Well, I'm the exception. I don't know.
Yeah.
You know what? I used to cheer so much. That's why I was the coach. But no, I used to go to the matches. I used to take them training. I used to do everything. And I remember one time, one guy came to me. "Oh, are you the coach?" And I goes, "No, the coach is over there." And he to be more quiet. Is it? But what you said, you know, that's the thing. That a dad and you. What's your perspective on that aspect? Because I know you've got your dad too.
Yeah, grew up with my dad from the beginning. So, obviously, when I moved here, there was a lot of my friends that didn't have, like, it was a predominantly single moms. That was, but my dad has been, sometimes I'm like, and this is all honesty, I'm thinking, oh, what would life be without my dad? Like, how would it be? Because all my friends were like, but the amount that my dad has affected my life, like, on a day-to-day basis,
yes,
I can't see life without my dad. Like, for example, it's so bad. When I tell people, they're like, you're spoiled. But even to go, when I'm working and I was living at home with my parents, my dad will wake up every morning and drop me to the train station. So it's not like my dad, well, my family is not like a lot, like, word of affirmation.
Yes.
They don't say, my dad's not going to come down and be like, Rajika, I love you so much. But the stuff he does for me.
Yes.
Like, if I'm like, Dad, I'm in the nail shop, can you please come and bring my sandals? He will do it. And it's like, my dad's not going to sit down and we're not going to have the heart-to-heart, but his actions alone, Courtney can bear witness.
You know that he's there for
my head hurts. Dad, my head hurts. Okay, what do you want me to do? Later he'll call back. Okay, do you want pills? Like, what do you want? So it's like...
he does it with action.
Yes, my dad is there. Like, even... It's a strange example, but I wanted the floor decked off because it's going to be a beach wedding. Yeah. So I was telling my dad, it's so expensive. I'm like, Dad, it's so expensive. So he's even now flying down to Jamaica early to make the decking. So I don't know. And my cousins, like his brothers are the same. They're very involved with their kids. So that's a great dad. I can't take it from him. You know, he's done everything he could.
You know, with what you said, it goes to the point whereby certain women, when they say when they break up, I don't want my child to see the dad. I feel that is wrong.
Very wrong.
That's bad. Because I must admit, like at first, when they first broke up, because they broke up over like cheating. My dad cheated on my mum. Yeah. So when that happened, my mum's just
cut him off.
Yeah, cut off with the kids. But then, what then happens? Because my mum was so angry at my dad, she would tell me stuff like, "Oh, like you shouldn't talk to him, or you shouldn't have to go see him." And
because Canada, they wanted to choose a side.
Yeah, so it was sort of kind of choosing a side. So
and then, how did that make you feel? Because you're gonna think, "Oh, that's my dad and that's my mum."
It kind of made me feel confused more than anything, because it's like, it's my mum and my dad, so why are they turning on each other? And if I don't see my dad and I only see my mum, I can only hear one side of the story. So everything my mum says, I kind of have to believe, because there's no one else to say the story. And my dad's not there to back it up. So, yeah, man. I say, yeah, that's not nice at all. It's not nice at all.
Yeah, it's a different perspective, because dads can give knowledge. Yes. Like, even with some family members that are dad, and I've seen how they are so supportive. Like, sometimes it's not even materialistic things. Yes, it's far from it. Yes, it's far from it, but it's being so supportive, like, and offering a different perspective. Yes, because even with both my parents, it's a thing where now we having to have discussions, because there's two different sides. There's always sides. And I feel like with me, that has allowed me to be more vocal. Okay. Because it's not just what my mum says. It's like, okay, I'm going to have a discussion with my dad and see his opinion on it. That's it. Like, there's different opinions. There's different way they see life, they view life. And then I was able to make my own decision. It's more informed. It's like, Dad, I'm going to do this. What do you think of that? He'd be like, nah, I don't think that's a good idea. Okay, but why? And then even if I go to my mum, he said you shouldn't do that. She might offer me a reasoning. Okay, well, you know, it's because he was brought up a certain way. So he might see it as that. But I think it's okay for you to do. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Even with a boyfriend, I was scared to death to tell my dad. Courtney would come round and he was my friend. No, he was my friend. Yeah. But from the first day we started going out, I told my mum, Mum, that's my boyfriend. Okay. Please don't tell my dad. I couldn't. I was scared. Yes. Not because my dad was doing anything. And he knew. Yeah. He was like, you think I was born yesterday? I knew. But I couldn't go to him with it. But do you see, I was able to speak to my mum and get advice, and by the time I was meant to move out with Courtney and the relationship has developed, he was able to give me advice from a married man and how man view women. Yes. He's able to tell me things from a man's perspective. Yes. Of how I should carry myself, how I should handle myself. Yes. And he's always saying, okay, look at your mom. Yes. Look how I treat your mom. Yes. So if Courtney's doing any less than my dad, I'm like, Nah, that's not what my dad says. I don't feel like it's not compared, but it's the level of respect. But she's got a yardstick whereby she can use to measure. You know how you get certain women that the dad beats their mom. Yeah. Like, so that's what they know. So she's talking about, like, she knows that she can't get below what the dad has given. Yes. You see, because you see, and before we finish, it's just that the reason why, like, I was asking about this is
recently, I spoke to my nephew, and his dad died, in Ghana. And he said he wasn't going to the funeral. And he said from the time he was born, he's 29 now, he says the dad was never there for him. And everybody was forcing him to go to the funeral. And with me, I've never even spoken to my cousin's son. I've never spoken to, but I told him to go to the funeral, not for the dad, but for him, to get closure. Do you understand? I said, go there, tell him, offload the pain. Do you understand me? Because how he felt saddened me, that a 29-year-old feels that from the time he was born, the dad was not there for him, and he's the dad's only child, even though the dad and the mom have broken up. You see, and I feel that what does family do to support this?
That's big.
No, not seriously, because he died recently. I think the funeral is going to be in a couple of weeks, and I just felt that even when I was talking to him, he was crying, and I just felt, what with me, I only found out about this, and then I'm kind of thinking, what has the family been doing? And the dad was only 50 something.
Yeah.
You see, and I think that you see, dads, because with what you said, dads should actually, both of you said that dads should actually involve themselves. As you said, it's not the money. It is you being there, you being present, you showing that sense that you know that today, if you phone daddy, Courtney is not doing what he's doing, he's coming down with his truck, yes, and moving your stuff out, yes.
It's true.
You see, so this is what you're going to carry on and give to your child.
That's what I said. Marriage is a legacy.
Which is, yes.
A good marriage is a good legacy.
100%, yes.
Because you want to be an example, not only for your kids, but for other people. Because it's like, we've gotten to a stage, I don't know much about Courtney. Courtney's not really a talker as I am. But to the point where other people are now coming to us to ask us, Rajika, how is it that you're able to be getting married so young?
Because I know West Indian marriages are not as many. I know you guys get married.
Yeah.
But the marriage aspect is more like baby mother kind of thing.
That is true. Because even in my family, there's like, I can count all the marriages on one hand.
Oh wow!
And it's probably not even 5, probably like 2 or 3.
Wow.
Yeah.
Versus my family, Courtney can vouch. Marriage is a big thing. It's a thing. Like, I know a lot of people over here knows that the baby mums over here, but back in Jamaica, marriage and being present is a big thing, especially where I'm from.
Okay, where are you from?
Trelawney.
Okay,
so it's a different parish. Okay. My grandparents were married on my dad's side, so my dad saw how his dad treat his mom, and then all his brothers end up getting married.
Wow.
And like it's a legacy. It's a good legacy. It's something to aspire to, because there's so much you can accomplish as a partnership.
Which is true.
There is so much building and so much support that
when there's love and there's
if I can help Courtney and support him, he can go out there and be a great man.
100%.
A great black man.
100%.
And some people disregard that. They think, you just want to say you have a woman or you just have a partner. But if that partner's not building you up when you go out and you leave the house to face the day, you might not be your best self. You might not be the best version of yourself.
Which is very true.
So that, I feel like marriage is and it's so much respect. Like when a family comes together, it's just such a good thing. I just love it.
Yes. No, but you know what? You guys have, for young people, you see, this is one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to you. Do you know how long I've been trying to get Donald to get you here? Because I was saying, because when you said you guys were getting married, I'm thinking, this is so fantastic, because your generation is more like crash and burn. Like you get married today just for the big wedding dress, the cake, everything, and tomorrow is over to the next, you see, the commitment. But the way that you're talking, you are talking with passion, you're talking with energy, positive energy for a relationship, which your peers have to actually see that that is not on the superficial aspect, but on the aspects of, changing the narrative or the perspective of black society, how you have to endure marriage, because you're talking about your parents, you're talking about love. And that is what I see. I want a relationship whereby I know I love and I support that person. Not a relationship that you wake up in the morning, that person is sleeping in the sitting room, the other one is sleeping somewhere, and then on the outside they come together as they're a couple. And I think
that's bad.
That's nasty.
It is, because then you're creating a false thing, and then people are looking at you as an example, and you know deep down in your heart you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing as a couple, and it's kind of deception. Like, you see us, what you see is what you get. Courtney, like, this is crazy because it was Courtney, O'Dane and Danelle. They were all my friends before Courtney even started talking. We had a friendship, we had an understanding of each other, and I always say that, like, whenever they ask me what is it, you have to have a friendship, because people fail to realize when you get into these lustful relationships, it's not always about that. It's not always about the kissing and the hugging and he looks nice, he wears this. What about the person? Are you able to just sit down with your friend? Is the person
going to be there for you? Does the person care about you?
Are you even comfortable? Because some people are not even comfortable with their person. They feel like they have to always do their hair, always have to have makeup on, and you're not your authentic self.
Which is true.
So what if one day you're sick? And you can't do the glitz and glamour? How is he going to see you? How's he going to perceive you? Like,
that's it.
There's so much more than just appearance and what you see.
Which is true. Which is very true. It's, you know, you guys have, I don't know, you've actually surprised me. Because relationships now, even us grown ups, it's like we're still trying to figure it out. Is it? Even though sometimes it seems like
are we.
Yes. No, but you guys have got the solidity. Of, you know, the foundation of it. You've looked at the financial aspects of your future. You've looked at the commitment aspects. You've looked at how to be a family. You're looking at the dynamics, the jigsaw puzzle that actually fits into everything. And I feel that is one of the aspects that needs to be. But one thing that I need to talk to you guys about is, thank you so much. One of the things I always say before my producer sends me off is Omega Live TV is one of the platforms that gives you the young people a voice. And I want you guys to say thank you to my producer.
Thank you so much.
And then Sister Danswa, and I want you guys to promote Omega Live TV, because you know what, you do your stuff. So you know what I mean. You say I want you guys to promote it, because I'm telling you, you black kids are the next generation. And that's the reason why I'm here today. And I want to thank you guys for coming, and I want to thank Sister Danswa as well. And everybody, please share, and love you all.